Amir, I do have some good news for you about money. Okay, but first of all, I need to know that all our people are safe, because we're only going to give you money for all of our people.
Everybody's safe already. I'm telling you this 100 times.
Okay.
So don't always start in conversation for this. Yes, we will talking about what you want to talking about, but first I have a problem. I want to talk about me.
Yeah.
Okay? You listen for me and you answering question.
Everybody negotiates, probably every day. Sometimes you don't even know you're in a negotiation. I wasn't as good as listening before I was a hostage negotiator. In the police, you're quite often called to people in a crisis. Now, I remember turning up in uniform as a young sergeant where a colleague had doused himself in petrol and he was threatening to kill himself in front of us all. Watching the negotiators turn up, just with words alone, I thought to myself, I want that skill. I'm Martin Richards. I'm a kidnap and extortion response consultant. The sort of incidents that you deal with before you are permitted, if you like, to work on the international circuit is you begin dealing with suicide interventions, people in a crisis, protesters, and normal sieges that don't involve actual kidnaps. And we follow a well-trodden sequence of events, and it's active listening to demonstrate empathy. Then you build rapport because you've done those two things. Then you've earned the right to start influencing and persuading. There's no difference to that than you negotiating with a client on a fee. You know, whatever it may be, you're selling the idea to your staff. It's negotiation, it's persuasion, it's influencing. It's the same skill set. There is no difference. The rewarding part is not just the person coming back to the family, it's also being able to convince people, like the families, like the companies, that your advice is actually the advice they should listen to in order to get that loved one back. Why should they listen to me? They don't know me. They don't trust me. So all my energy initially has to go into convincing those people that my advice is the right advice. I was called once to deal with somebody dressed up as Batman and also Spider-Man on Tower Bridge. And what they would do is dress up as cartoon characters to draw attention to themselves and their cause. They know what you're going to do because they're professional protesters. So you've been called to them many times before. It's the same with real hardened kidnappers in the likes of Nigeria and Mexico. It's a business for them. They do this on a weekly basis. So those individuals are really tough to deal with because they know what we do. It's feeding the ego, it's raising their self-esteem, it's convincing them that your advice is the right way to go, praising their ability to make tough decisions. That's how you deal with really difficult people. If we're talking about negotiating in the job that I do, it's to stick to what works, because you know that it works. But we got to convince other people. And we have to convince other people who are under a lot of stress and there's a lot of emotions. And that's where the art comes. Every day we sit down and I brief the person who's going to talk to the kidnappers for us, and I write the scripts and we rehearse. You know, that's quite exhausting. And I have to recognize when it's going to be tiring for me to listen, because real listening is exhausting. You I remember talking to people in a crisis for about 7 hours, 6 hours at a time. You go home after something like that, you can't talk to anybody. You can't listen to anybody because you're absolutely exhausted and worn out. So you have to label what you're feeling so you know then what you've got to do about that so you can communicate more effectively. You can adapt that to business as well. You can imagine that if you're running long meetings at work or you're dealing with colleagues all day, if you're head of a department, you've got lots of employees you're responsible for, everybody would feel exhausted after taking on other people's problems. So do you need time away? Do you need some space? Do you need to do your hobby? Do you need a break? Ask yourself those questions. What I have to do is be on my own. My downtime in England is in Devon, and I like to spend time in my own private woodland. I like to go kayaking. I like to go out on my boat fishing, so no phone signal, be by myself, recharge.
You tell me the money or you don't finish this conversation.
Okay, but, first of all, I need an act of faith from you, Amir. We need to ensure Jean-Henri gets his medication.
You can give him medication in person yourself if you are paying this quickly. You know you're having the money there, okay? It's your problem. He dying from this problem. It's your fault.
Okay.
It's my fault. You are wasting the time for him and you are killing him.
Okay.
You are killing him.
Do you want to hear the good news, Amir?
I'm waiting for 100 hours to hearing the good news.
Okay. Well, look, Amir, as you know, we are an NGO organisation. We don't have a lot of money. But
you cut the bullshit for me and just tell me the fucking number.
Okay. Well, I need to tell you why it's taken so long. Okay. We've talked to our partner agencies, and we have managed to get some money together. So I am authorised to offer you some money. We've managed to get together $63,000.
Just when you've got an agreement of what we're going to pay the kidnappers, they suddenly change their mind and ask for more money. Just when you're going to pick up the hostages, they get re-kidnapped on the way back to their families, because that's happened. Some time ago, when I was a police officer, we'd been talking to somebody for about 7 hours who was on a rooftop. We got them into the flat where he cuddled his mother. Everybody was happy. What we should have done is secure them, put them quietly in a corner so they couldn't go anywhere. Bearing in mind, they must have been a bit vulnerable or unstable themselves. However, we let our guard down. All of a sudden, he ran, dived through the kitchen window, and we just managed to chase after him and grab him by the belt and drag him back in. So that taught us a lesson. Just when you think you're winning, it's the most dangerous time. You sometimes think about the what ifs. Could I have done that quicker? But the fact that almost all cases, the hostages go back home, you live off that elation, you live off the adrenaline for quite a while afterwards, and it takes days for yourself to come down after something like that. So when I'm out of my sea kayak, just paddling away, preferably on a calm sea, and all you can hear is the waves lapping against your kayak, seagulls in the distance, and nothing else. But then when your phone rings and you have to deploy somewhere that day, then you go back into the mad world of negotiating.